The art of vibrant living means living with joy, with exuberance, with enthusiasm, with love, with excitement, with passion, in order to be radiantly alive. And the truth is, most people are not experiencing that. I remember it super clearly. Must have been about 4 years old. We lived on a quiet street, and I was out in the front yard of my family's house. And I can kind of hear my mother and father yelling inside. And I'm sitting there, and in this one moment, 3 of our neighbors came by. I saw them park their car, get out of the car. 2 of them were like, standard businessmen. This was, early 70s, briefcase, suit on. And they had like slumped shoulders, and they just looked, maybe miserable is too strong a word, but certainly not vibrantly alive. And I just had this realization, like, there's got to be more to life than this. This can't be why we're here. And then, I went on with life. They called me in for dinner at some point. The yelling stopped for a while. And I moved through childhood, into my teens, 20s. Now, at that point in my life, I didn't know anything about spirituality. I had no experience with religion. My parents were like recovering Catholics, maybe. And then when I was in my mid-20s, I experienced a divine whack upside the head. You could call it a spiritual awakening. You could call it a Kundalini awakening. You could call it going crazy or a breakdown. All of those things have a level of accuracy to them. And it was awe-inspiring, right? Because what I saw, what I tasted, what I experienced was what you might call the human potential in spirit. And it brought me this incredible bliss, and I had so many moments in the midst of that where tears just came because I was so immersed in all of it, in oneness. I just lost interest in the physical world. Very quickly, that went pear-shaped into me being locked up in a hospital because I was not behaving like a normal human being. And one of the things that happened while I was in that Western mental health system is they gave me a diagnosis. They said, you have bipolar disorder. And I said, well, but I've never been depressed. Oh, you have a specific kind of bipolar disorder that means you have more highs than lows. Here's what's going to happen. 1, you got to take drugs for the rest of your life. And 2, you're going to have these cycles from now on forever. I didn't want to take the drugs that they were telling me I should take. So I didn't end up taking any drugs or medications from that. And happily, I'm very lucky about this, they didn't force me to take any drugs. I did learn, or at least the seed was planted, like I need to learn how to be human. I need to learn how to take care of this thing. Nonetheless, when I came through that experience, I got depressed because I didn't know how to live. I didn't know what to do. And I had never been depressed like that in my life. And there was a particular moment in the midst of that where, I sort of broke down. And I remember I was lying on the floor, face down, and I had given up. I thought, I'm a lost cause. There's no hope for me. One of the things I realized, and I don't know if I would have been conscious of it in that moment though, is that if things are going to change, it's me that's going to change them. I could not be a victim and live a good life. I needed to shift my own perspective so that I was at cause rather than at effect. The first day of outpatient therapy, I had an intake interview. And the guy that was interviewing me said something powerful. I remember it very specifically, 20-something years later now. He said, our job is to make you normally unhappy like the rest of us. It's worth saying again. Our job is to make you normally unhappy like the rest of us. What I think of as the most important thing for any of us to know is that anything is possible, right? This cult of mediocrity, what we could call blah, or what The Simpsons called meh, right? That concept of, it's okay, getting by, nothing to complain about, that could be, it's up to you, but it could be intolerable. It could be the enemy. Hold on. Yes, most people are living lives of mediocre monotony, but you don't have to. This could be your hero's call to create and enjoy a vibrant, thriving life. Heroes need worthy adversaries, but you also have allies, your infinite potential, your heroes. You can create your life into a masterpiece. You can even live the satisfaction of helping change the world in positive ways. If you're ready to make your life a masterpiece, and if you're interested in the possibility of me as your ally and guide, click the link below and let's connect.